Good morning. This is the editor's desk, and I'm here with Matt Keys. Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We're recording this on Monday, March 10th, is it? And this will get published out on March 11th. And there's been a lot going on. We did miss last week, and part of that was because I was at a conference in Key Biscayne, where at least it was warm, run by our friends over at Operative. And that was a customer conference. And I can't really talk about it, what they did, but it was very well organized and I enjoy it. But we got stories, stuff's been going on. What's hot on your plate today?
I chose the wrong camera for our
Uh-oh.
our show. I have this I have the iPhone, right? I'll just give you a little behind the scenes of how we produced the show real quick.
Real
I have this
production notes.
Yeah, I have this iPhone 15 that has a MagSafe stand that attaches to the laptop that I use.
Yeah.
And I found a few weeks ago, if you notice, the video quality of these shows improved along with the audio quality. We're trying to invest a little bit more in equipment to make this sound and look uh, good without spending, thousands of dollars to do it.
Yes.
There's a way on the Apple where you can use this as your webcam, and it works really, really well. But you have to remember to switch to it, which is why you just saw my finger go over the camera just a second ago, because I wanted to make sure I was looking at the right camera.
All right. And
So
now do you hardwire that in or is that a Bluetooth connection?
yeah, I plug it into the
Good.
laptop when I have a slot available. It does it over Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi. Okay.
but
I
I
tend
do
I
plug it
tend
in for
not
the
to
battery.
trust that for video. I sort of like stuff plugged in.
I do too, but they don't have an option for that.
Right.
I'll have to say it's never failed me. Although if I don't switch to it when we start the Zoom, then it doesn't work. So on that note, you were mentioning you were at an industry conference. Uh, did the topic of like this syndication of streaming originals? You sent me a
No,
story on that earlier.
this was an ad tech conference, all
Okay.
advertising technology.
But you sent me an interesting story over the weekend. This came from Variety. It was one of their Variety VIP stories on this trend of streaming services that are starting to syndicate out their content to what we would consider to be traditional forms of television, so broadcast networks,
Actually,
cable
they're going to
networks, and so
syndicate it
forth.
to anybody who's going to pay for it.
And what's the nugget of the story? Which
Okay,
is it pretty
so
much that?
listen, and I can actually go back to this because it relates to my own history and a story I saw today about CBS. When I was at Showtime, I was there when Ralph Baruch, who was the founder of Viacom and the chief executive of Viacom, was kicked out by Sumner Redstone. And for a while, Ralph and I were corner offices across from each other. Not that I earned it, but it's what they had available. And we were neighbors, and so we talked a lot. Viacom was created to allow CBS to syndicate I Love Lucy. There you go. That was the start of the syndication business. And then we had syndicated exclusivity and other kind of rules come in. But the fact of the matter was CBS owned the rights to I Love Lucy. They were in season 7. They had seasons 1 through 6 in the can. And how do you make money out of it? And that's not a whole lot different than what Netflix, I think even Apple's playing around with that, you told me, and other folks are doing, looking at what they have to bring in new viewers, which is generally the new fresh stuff. And if they have season 7, well, I'll go season 3 maybe, of some hit program, they're likely to hold on to seasons 1 and 2. Witness Max and White Lotus, okay? You're probably not going to license out season 1 of White Lotus if you're playing season 3 because people are going to want to dive back and go look. But
Mhm.
you've got stuff in Max from the old HBO catalog that was produced, for God's sakes, 30 years ago and 20 years ago and 15 years ago, and it's gathering dust. Why not make money from that? And so even the new guys in town, the Netflixes and the Apples, has Amazon done it yet? I can't imagine they wouldn't, but
Amazon has done it to a very limited degree. The the stories that I've written on Amazon's sub licensing of their shows is they have a show called The Ring of, I think it's called The Ring of Power. It's like one of the Lord of the Rings spinoffs.
Yeah, it is. It is the
And
precursor. The Rings of Power actually is
yep,
very good.
the one of the ways that they promoted the show recently was ahead of their new season. They licensed the prior seasons to Samsung TV Plus. So if you have a Samsung device, a phone, a
Interesting.
tablet, or a smart TV, you could watch the first, I think it's season or two, the first one or two seasons of the show for free. And the idea was,
Induce
if
you to
you,
subscribe to
yes,
Amazon Plus to get the new
right,
season. Okay, so the thing that I
yep.
said about if I've got season three of something, I'm going to hold on to seasons one and two, throw that out. No, don't throw
Well,
that
I
out.
think it depends on the show, right? So,
It's
like White
and it's a
Lotus,
calculation of how much do I need the money. Near as I
yep.
can figure, Amazon doesn't need the money, but they could certainly use the subscribers because don't they have something in excess of 80% of their Prime subscribers on the ad-supported service, which is
Yeah,
making money hand over fist and far and away above anybody else, by the way.
and I think the other reason why they did that is because they were promoting the show outside the US as well as inside the US. And so this Samsung TV Plus deal, it was in multiple countries, including some in Europe, where
Interesting.
linear TV is still the primary way to
Yep.
watch television. In fact, we did a story last week. I'll have to pull up the story because I can't exactly remember what the story was, but it had something to do with the idea that, oh, it was actually from Amazon. It was that Amazon is launching a linear TV network in Germany called Prime, and they are going to schedule it like a linear TV network. Their best shows are going to be scheduled in prime time. It's a channel that you'll be able to stream through Prime Video. And they are doing this because linear TV networks, including the public service broadcasters, continue to be the main trendsetter and one of the main ways that people consume television in some of these European countries. So they're really leaning into that idea. And if you are someone that has a Samsung TV, which there's a pretty good chance you are because they're one of the best, if not the best, selling TV brand in the world, and you have access to Samsung TV Plus, it's by default the first thing that pops up when you turn your TV on. You're probably going to come across the Rings of Power, right? During that promotional period.
Yep.
You might get sucked into the show, and then you're more likely to watch it on Prime Video, whether you have Amazon Prime or not.
Now, here's something interesting, and this gets to my biggest bugaboo. As smart as Samsung is, and I haven't tried that, but I'm pretty sure they don't yet have the ability for me to go to season two,
Mm-hmm.
episode, the last of the seasons, or even the next to last of that season, and go one click from there right into Prime. Okay. I'm a huge believer of two things in this business. One is the glass. Congrats to
Mm-hmm.
Samsung for doing that. Glass is the last thing that sees the content before my eyes do. I'm also a huge believer in one click. Make it so easy for the consumer that she just says, "Well, shit, why not?" Boom, there you are.
I think they
There
actually
you
do
are. You're
have.
right in.
I think they do have the ability to, if you're watching the show either in a linear channel or on demand, because they do have an on demand section also. I think they do have an ability to link up with Prime Video because they promote
No,
Prime Video content in
link
their
up
on
to
their home
Prime
screen.
Video ain't the same as doing a direct subscription billed to my wallet without
Mm-hmm.
having to do any navigation whatsoever. Just go from the show that I'm watching, bang, into the next show in that new service. Now, fact of the matter is, Prime could let me watch the first episode of season three for free. That could be the trick, right?
Sure.
And let me go through episode one of the new season for free, and then Prime is responsible for upgrading me. But when we do all this, frankly, just damned interesting promotional work between platforms and services and using the content, because you got to have the content, We are still missing the trick. There's plumbing associated with it, and none of it is easy. We kind of spent some time on plumbing issues, the conference I was at last week. But getting me there with one click is monumentally important in our business because the consumer is just going to get bored if she has to go click, click, exit, enter, and then, my God, get the remote control and start punching in numbers. No effing way.
Yeah, Vizio I know is really trying to tackle that issue. They have their Vizio account
Yep.
service. How much that grows now that Walmart has acquired them, remains to be seen. We used to see quite a bit of promotion of Vizio account. Now I haven't really seen a whole lot of it in the past few months. But that was the whole idea, was to build a subscription management platform on top of their connected TV platform. So they've wanted to tackle that issue for a while now. The challenge has been to get the streaming services, in particular the bigger ones,
That's right.
to play ball with them. So that you can get services like Paramount, Peacock, even, because I know Peacock has done quite a bit with Vizio. Maybe the Disney services, but
Not
Netflix
Netflix
and
and
Prime.
Well,
Kind of
what's interesting is I have Roku, and when I'm watching Roku, now at the moment, I think I subscribe to everything. I think I dropped Apple Plus. We'll use that as an example. If I wanted to go from my Roku to Apple, I'm going to click on that, and Roku's going to send me a QR code on the screen. Okay? Or I have to log in to my computer and copy a code and do the rest of it. Now, frankly, Roku has my billing information. There are services for which I pay Roku to subscribe. Why in the world should they send me off the reservation to make a purchase when I am right there?
Because Apple doesn't integrate with Roku Pay.
Apple wants, if you're paying anything through Apple, they want their 30%. That's right. So it's that kind of stuff. The tech is there. The tech is right there. But
Yeah,
we
I
are
think
missing great marketing opportunities by being, kind of stupid about it.
specific to Apple, I think you're going to see that change a little bit. We've actually already started to see it change. I pay for Apple TV Plus through Amazon because I get
Okay.
it. I can use the Amazon Prime app, which I think frankly works better, and watch it on my Android TV, even though there is an Apple TV app for it. It just works better for me through the Prime app. So when Apple TV became available through the Prime app, that's how I subscribed. I had used the Apple TV app for a while, never hadn't really actively used it because it just didn't work too well on anything that isn't an Apple device. But to your point, I mean, I would argue that if a seamless experience is what you're after, from point of sale to being able to watch the video, or promotion to point of sale to being able to watch the series, no one does that really better in the space than Amazon. And maybe that's just because they have the biggest market share.
Yeah, but
But
Amazon does something else that's just annoying as crap. When I turn on Amazon, the first thing I see is a whole lot of programming for which I have to subscribe. And that's the first row of content, maybe even the second row of content. Is you want to watch White Lotus, it's here, click on this, and then you're going to go through the whole mashang to Megillah, whatever it is, Meshuggah. No, that's crazy. You're going to go through the whole Megillah to subscribe to Max to watch White Lotus. And that's the first thing that I see on Amazon. Now, Amazon's a marketing company, but on Prime, it's a television company. And I go to Amazon, I want to continue to watch something that I started to watch. We've talked about this before. It's 4 lines down for me
yeah,
and not easy to find. So, how much do you want to reward your subscriber by keeping them satisfied and using your service versus how much do you want to sell to your subscriber? And then, that's consumer marketing. That's
yeah,
the
it's
issue.
it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
Yes.
Um,
But
that's not
if
for lack of
if
effort,
we
though.
get to the one click, at least that part gets a whole lot smoother. If I could hit that one click on that first line on Amazon and go give Paramount Plus a try, Give me a week of it for free, for God's sakes. Make it easy for me to get in and take a look through the program guide. Then there's the issue of why in the world do I have to go to a service to get to their program guide when we could actually have a universal guide? Whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the idea of universal search and discovery has been debated for quite a few years. I've sat in on those conversations. I'm sure you have also.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's probably what's keeping the industry events business in business. That's one of the topics that is, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm confident it'll come up at TVOT in June, right? Which
will
we'll both
it's
hopefully be
certainly
at.
I may be bringing it up. The
Yeah.
the interesting thing about that, and we were going to be talking about, and might as well make that transition to DirecTV and what they're doing with their bundles and their packages and everything else. DirecTV, for all, even DirecTV Stream, is for all intents and purposes a cable service. Okay,
Yes.
delivered like that. Now, DirecTV Stream doesn't give you the program guide that the DirecTV satellite service does. Old-fashioned program guide is one of the easiest to use search and discovery mechanisms out there. You can click on something, you can go to the menu, and it's all right there. Be that as it may. Tell me what DirecTV is doing, because they announced a whole bunch of new services, and I'm confused.
I mean, I would say that DirecTV, as far as the old-fashioned electronic program guide, they're actually probably one of the better ones that replicate
They are.
the cable experience, because we've used it for about 6 months now. DirecTV Stream through the Gemini box, which is their set-top box, and it's very comparable to what you would find on Xfinity, or what you would find on Dish, or what you would find on DirecTV Satellite,
Or DirecTV
even
Satellite.
even down to the fact that there are channel numbers that you can input. So NBC's on 3 here. I hit 3, NBC pops up. It is the closest thing to a cable experience on a streaming service that I've come across, and I'm a big fan of it. What they're doing now is something that I think consumers have wanted for a while, although maybe not to the degree that they want it, and something that the industry has wanted for a while, which is this ability to offer slightly more customizable genre-based programming packages. They were very vocal about 2 years ago when they had a renewal thing with Disney, or it might have actually been last year. I think it was last year. They were very vocal whenever their renewal deal with Disney came up, that they saw the ability to siphon off channels into genre-based packages as the way forward. I have spoken with the DirecTV guys. I asked Rob Thune, their chief programming officer, specifically, why is there no a la carte option? And they have told me that the economics of a la carte just don't work. But what does work for them, and what seems to be working for the broadcasters now, is the idea of offering a package of 40 plus channels for anywhere from 30 to 40 bucks a month. And that is what DirecTV did while we were on break. They, in addition to their sports package, which they announced, I believe, toward the end of last year, the My Sports product, or it might have been earlier this year, they now have 3 new packages called My Entertainment, My News, and what translates to My
Espanol.
Espanol. And those cost anywhere from, let's see, I actually have the prices here, anywhere from 35 to 40 bucks a month, depending on the package. And you get quite a few of the channels that I think most people would want to watch. In the My Entertainment package, you also get access to the ad-supported plans of Disney Plus and Hulu. You'll be able to get Max pretty soon.
Now, are they included in that monthly fee to DirecTV?
Yes. Yes.
They are. Okay, so that's similar to Charter's deal, Charter's deal with Disney, where they were able to kind of bundle in the ad-supported services, and Disney said, you know what? Bring them on. We want more eyeballs, so bring them on, and put them inside Charter's packages of various kinds.
And one of the things that kind of frustrates me about Charter and Disney's marketing, and I think Charter is working to fix some of this year, is they really haven't communicated very well to the consumer the value that those streaming packages or those streaming add-ons, which are included, they don't cost anything beyond the subscription price, what the added value of that is. So Charter has gone to investors and said the aggregate value of all of the streaming services that we offer in our base programming package is about $80. If you went and bought each one of those services on its own at retail, it'd be about $80 a month, and you get them included with these programming packages. DirecTV really hasn't made a whole lot of noise about that either. I went and priced, I think the Disney bundle that they offer through My Entertainment would be about $10, and then you add Max with ads to that, which is coming soon, so that's another $10. So that's $20 right there, which means what you're really paying for as far as the linear channels go in My Entertainment is $15.
Okay.
And you're getting
now let's talk
cable
about
news on top of that as well.
Let's talk about that. Your comment talking to the DirecTV guys was that a la carte doesn't make sense. We've known that in the business as long as I've been in the business. Mm-hmm. But if in point of fact you had a price fixed package, let's say it's $40, and even if you want to say, if you're DirecTV, that inside that there's 20 channels that must be included, right? Mm-hmm. Give me the option of picking whatever other channels I want up to 20 more. And I'll pay you the $40, but let me pick the channels. That's not really a la carte. That's sort of price pick. That's a Chinese menu. You know what that is? That's a Chinese menu. $18.99, pick anything in column 1, anything in column 2, anything in column 3. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And I think DirecTV, somewhere inside DirecTV, with the new management and getting out from under the yoke of AT&T, it just feels like they're willing to experiment. God knows the announcement they made this past weekend suggests that they're willing to experiment.
I might have missed the announcement this past weekend. What was the
No. The one that you just quoted, the bundles.
Oh, the one that they did last week. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that the executives at DirecTV would say this isn't so much an experiment as this is the way things are going to go moving forward. Your idea, I think, has been tried to some degree by Dish. Dish had these flex packs where you could get, a base. They were required over satellite to carry certain channels. So they had a base package of 20 maybe 30-ish networks. Yep. And they're the usual suspects that you would think. And then you could tack on these mini packs of local broadcast channels for $10, sports channels for $8, news channels. So you weren't able to quite pick the networks that you wanted. But they were the originator of the genre-based package idea. What you have here is removing the I would argue that the more choices you give consumers, the more confused they tend to be. They really just kind of like a one-size-fits-all, which might be why YouTube TV is the biggest streaming cable alternative in the market. It's a one-size-fits-all. You pay one price, you get everything.
It's cable TV.
If you don't pay it, you don't get anything. Yeah, it's basically cable TV.
Yeah.
And so what DirecTV, I can tell you as someone that has an affiliate partnership with DirecTV, that there is interest in these genre-based packages because at least on our end, I don't want to get too specific into the sales on our end, because the desk is ad supported. It also has affiliate partnerships, and that's what keeps the lights on. We don't push our affiliate partners too much. We're not very aggressive about sales.
Yep.
But we do drop links in there, and if you're going to buy something from an article, you might as well buy it from us.
Sure.
We'll also tell you when we think something isn't a good deal. So our affiliate partners don't really care when we do that. But I mean, they don't particularly care for when we do that. But with DirecTV, we have affiliate partnerships that sell these genre-based packages, and I can tell you there has been quite a bit of interest in it since they launched. I would say that some of them are better valued than others. They have a package of news channels. It's 10 global news channels plus your local Fox and NBC station or affiliate for $40 a month. I don't particularly think that's a good value.
No.
But I understand why they offer it. And I don't think it's a good value because if you're someone who is primarily paying for cable or satellite right now because you want access to cable news, specifically Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC, you get those in My Entertainment as well. And that's the interesting part that I think in this whole scenario, which is that cable news in all of these genre-based packages that we've seen come to market, cable news is still rooted in a lot of the base programming packages. The cable news channels are in my entertainment at $35 a month. I think that's a really good value. When you look at what Charter did with their programming packages, where they're trying to offer slimmer programming packages that are inclusive of streaming networks, the cable news channels are there too, and as are they in what Comcast has offered. They have a package that they call it's News and Sports or Sports and News, something to that effect, and it's accessible through the Xfinity Stream app. Again, the cable news channels are there. So why do the entertainment channels have to subsidize the cable news channels by mandating distribution? I'm not entirely sure what the answer is to that just yet. It's something that I'm sure we'll track down over time.
All right.
But it's like it's a way of trying to evolve toward the future of pay TV that I think you would like the industry to embrace, which is giving the consumers the ability to go in and pick which channels they want versus which channels they don't. I think when we
having a super aggregator that has everything.
And I think when we do evolve to that, you're going to see very clearly who the winners and the losers are as far as some of these channels.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
And then there'll be, a pseudo shakeout, which we're actually already starting to see the shakeout. It's probably started with regional sports networks and has kind of gone from there. The fact that you can get a Charter-based programming package that doesn't offer certain National Geographic channels, that doesn't offer freeform, I think that's very indicative, at least on the Disney side, which channels are the stronger in that portfolio versus which channels are not. Speaking of, one of the stories that we broke last week is that in addition to Charter, Comcast, and DirecTV offering these differentiated programming packages, Fubo is going to offer a sports and broadcasting package at some point. This is not something that they've kept secret. When the Disney deal was announced, where they're merging their pay TV businesses, there were some rumblings from some of their executives that they were going to offer a package like this. And we have a few more details on the desk. You can scan the QR code on your screen to read that story as to what that package is poised to look like. We're reporting via our sources that this sports and broadcasting package that they're going to offer would be very comparable to what others have offered at a price point of $50 to $60 a month. And I'm wondering, Rick, if you think that is a reasonable price for someone to pay to get their sports and broadcasting channels.
If I got all my local broadcast channels, and I got all of my sports teams, yes. The fact of the matter is, though, Fubo Sports I don't give two flying whatevers about the Dallas or the Texas Rangers. But I don't care if they're in my package. I want the Orioles and the Ravens. I want the Yankees because I like to watch them play. I'd rather watch them lose. If you had a sports package that was universal, that was basically a piece of everything, we haven't solved that problem yet. Fubo hasn't solved that problem yet. Nobody's solved that problem yet. I have an idea who could solve that problem. But $60 for selected sports plus broadcast doesn't sound like a winning proposition to me. Sorry, Fubo.
Who could solve that problem?
Oh, I'll tell you who can solve that problem. And this was a conversation I had with some folks last week, and we got to watch our clock because we're going to run out of time. In the same way that I believe there is room for an aggregator in the entertainment space, I think there's absolutely room for an aggregator in the sports space. And this would be one place that everybody would go to find their team. It doesn't mean you would watch their team from that location or that portal or that hub, right? But you could at least go there every time and know you're going to find them. Drop my glasses. And I think there's one brand out there who has the capability to do it. And I think they have the 3 R's that are required in my world, which is recognition, resources, and reach. And I think that one company is ESPN. I think ESPN has the ability to be the home of all things sports, Some of it they own directly and, ship out. Some of it they give you a good link and you want that team, you go here. And tonight's game for your team isn't where you normally go. It's over here on Apple. Oh, by the way, fun. Isn't that fun? But that would be a place where you could find all that. It's not hard.
We've reported in the past that ESPN is in the process of integrating more sports listings into their
website, right?
Into their app, yeah.
Into their app. And people say, well, they just got rid of MLB. No, they didn't get rid of MLB. They're renegotiating the deal with MLB, boys and girls. Let's not get carried away about stuff. ESPN has the ability to do that in an app, in a television service, in a streaming service. They could do that universally and be the one place that everybody goes to.
I'll tell you, I just pulled the story up. It's called Where to Watch. That's the feature. This story came out, we published the story in August of last year, and it works across major sports franchises. So NFL, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, the NBA, NASCAR, the WNBA, Formula One, PGA Tour, Major League Soccer, and UFC. And what they're doing is, obviously, if they're carrying it, you'll be able to find it and what to watch. But they're also integrating RSNs in there, other national sports broadcasters. And I think they are trying to solve that pain point of, and we talked a little bit about this in the last episode, right? With my Kings, like our games are split across a couple of different channels.
Yeah.
And I create that Excel spreadsheet every season to figure out when the games are airing and on what channel and at what time. And if ESPN did that in their app, which I can tell you as someone that uses the ESPN app, they're not entirely there yet. They still need to figure out a way, and you were talking about this earlier in this show, they've got to figure out a way that I can hit a button,
one click, and go right to the game.
To the service that I subscribe to, whether that's DirecTV Stream or YouTube TV or something else, and have it start playing the game. That would be a huge value add for that. I think that they're probably not the only ones that could do that. I don't think they're the
ones with the brand and the resources and the reach.
Even if they did it second or third, I think they would be the biggest to do it if they can pull that off. So the question to me is, and this is where we'll wrap up on, is it's been since August that they've announced this. They don't really market this feature very well. And we haven't heard very much more about it, even though we've gone through several new sports cycles since then. They announced this right before the start of football season, which makes sense to me. But why not re-up it? Why not re-promote it at the start of hockey season, especially since out-of-market games are all on ESPN+. Why not promote this at the start of baseball season? Why are they not promoting it now? Why are they not promoting it during March Madness? And my guess is because they don't carry a lot of those events.
And they're not interested in sending you over to another service yet.
Right.
Yet. But if they were the portal and they sold the advertising that everybody saw when they're going in and you're looking for this team and I'm looking for the other team, it just changes the model for everybody. I think aggregation is a strong position for advertisers.
The thing that I immediately thought of is, if ESPN solves the search and discovery feature, all of a sudden they can become a reseller of these services. Just
That's
as
right.
We resell
they can get an affiliate fee. Yeah. And if I'm already subscribing, it's not hard, at least on my iPhone. If I've got the services I subscribe to on my iPhone, I can have something else go see, I'm already authenticated to that. I'm going to put that in the good list. I'm going to put that on the subscriber list for you. And now all of a sudden I am one click away where I can see, the game is right there. I click and boom, I'm in the game. That's what I need.
Yep.
And on that note, I will just end with this one thing. If anybody wants to know why I have an affection for DirecTV, I published their magazine 25 years ago. Oh, wow. Now, this was a monthly program guide. We were in competition with TV Guide, who published a weekly program guide for the competitor for DirecTV, and that thing was the size of War and Peace. I think I said at one point, the mailman dropped that off in your mailbox, and your mailbox would fall over. Anyway,
did you keep copies of that magazine?
I have copies of that magazine with my name in there as publisher. Yes.
Maybe we can show what the magazine looked like in a future episode.
Maybe we can do that.
I would love.
By the way, DirecTV still gives me a journalist discount. Don't tell them. I don't think they know. All
I
right.
think even if they did know, they would still let you keep it.
I think they probably would too. All right. It's time to go. We'll see everybody next week on the editor's desk. Matt, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.